Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight I want to welcome Davey Cretin and John the Music Nut to the show. We are going to rank our top 10 Ramones tracks. This is crazy. Strap yourself in. Here we go.
Talking bands no one talks about. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are doing, I guess this is the follow-up episode to the show that Davey and I did with our Ramones ranking. But tonight we've added a special guest. We have brought in John the Music Nut. We've all seen John. He is an esteemed scholar of music and is always in the warehouse. And he's here in the warehouse today, and he's going to help us out with our top 10 Ramones songs. So I welcome Davey back and John back, and we're just going to hammer this out. And I don't know where it's going to end up. I don't know what our number one's going to be. I know what my number one is, but these gentlemen, I have no idea. So it's all about turning you on to music. It's all about having a music discussion. It's all about hanging out. That's what the warehouse is about. We do want to hear from you in the chat. We want to know what's your top 10 Ramones songs. Anything about the Ramones. Give us something. We want to hear from you. We read the comments. We will respond. So without any further ado, let's get this started. We're going to do our top 10 Ramones songs. I'm going to start out with Davey, throw it over to John, and then throw it over to me, and we'll just keep going around like that until we get to our number one. Davey, give us your number 10.
Okay, coming in at number 10 on my list, written by the band, credited to the band. This originally was supposed to be on their third album, Rocket to Russia. Yet, when right before they released their second album, Leave Home, their manager came to them and said, guys, you can't put that song, Carbone and Not Glue, on your record. Carbone is a trademarked thing. It's a trademarked piece of equipment. You cannot use that song. So they took the song off the record. And in the UK, they put on this song that was slated for Rocket to Russia, Babysitter. It's a ballad. And I love the backing vocals on this song. They're very subtle. And it's definitely probably Joey, maybe his brother Mickey, maybe some other guys here and there, maybe Dee Dee, but it doesn't really sound like Dee Dee. I love the backing vocals. We used to do this song in the band, and I used to love singing this song. It's a good ballad. It's not as overplayed as I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. And I like this one better. It's a deeper track. So my number 10 is Babysitter. And they did put it on the reissue, the remastered CD of Leave Home. That's where you'll find this song. Great deep track, Babysitter.
Excellent. All right, Davey. John, what's your number 10?
All right, spoiler alert. No ballads.
Oh, no.
No ballads.
All
I'm going to my heavy metal personality for a lot of these. All right. Okay. So you can kind of go figure out what albums I'm going to hit. All right. This is from 1983, Subterranean Jungle. Now, this album to me is kind of schizophrenic because there's more covers than usual. The drums sound, at least at the beginning, is very tinny, but then it turns into a pretty heavy record. Track I'm going with is Psychotherapy. Love those sirens kicking in with those guitars. It's just catchy. It just comes in, kicks your ass. Very simple, but, I'm going to be saying the word simple, but effective or menacing a lot. This is a great track. I think this one of the more revered later for this band, for a lot of people, be after the first 4 albums.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And this would be off of number 7, I believe. So Psychotherapy is definitely one of mine. This just kicks ass and takes names. Love it. Number 10.
All right, cool. Excellent. All right, my number 10, you would think this would be a lot higher, but maybe I guess I'm tired of it. But I do think this is probably Joey's best song. It's catchy. It checks all the boxes. The record has good production. As everyone knows, as the Ramones progressed, their records got better. Well, you can watch our Ramones album ranking for more information, because some of this later stuff kind of drove me crazy. But this doesn't. This is great. This is a Joey Ramone song. I think it's one of his best. This is off Road to Ruin, 1978. And people are going to say, Grant, why are you ranking this so low? Well, I think it's great. Anything in this top 10, I think, is just top notch. But they have to rank somewhere. Maybe tomorrow it could rank higher, but I'm going to go with I Want to Be Sedated. It's an anthem. It's an anthem. It's when you look Ramones up in the dictionary, this could be one of those songs that what do the Ramones sound like? Oh, I Want to Be Sedated. I don't know. Hasn't it been in a movie? It's been on the Rolling Stones 500 top greatest songs of all time. It's held in high regard, but there are some other songs that I like more. Everyone's probably heard it if you're watching this show, so I don't have to go on, but it is number 10, but it could be higher. But I do love it, but I think I probably heard it too much, believe it or not, because on the FM rock radio here, if they're going to play anything, they play that.
Same here.
Yeah. So I have to deduct points for that, but it's all good. It's all good. There's really no bad Ramones. So, all right, Davey, what's your number 9?
Coming in at number 9, there are over a dozen cover versions of this song. Who knew? This song reached number 4 on the Billboard U.S. Alternative Songs chart, number 6 on the U.S. New Rock chart, and number 9 on Hits U.S. Postmodern chart. It was written by Dee Dee Ramone and Daniel Ray, produced by Jean Beauvoir, Bill Laswell, and Daniel Ray, and the song is Pet Sematary from the Brain Train album. Actually, this wasn't produced by Bill Laswell. He did the album, not this song. It's Jean Beauvoir and Daniel Ray produced this song. And it's Jean Beauvoir who helps with the song structure, and he gives this song its big commercial sheen and shine. It's very catchy, it's bouncy, it's upbeat. Of course, it was used in the Stephen King film, Pet Sematary, from the late 80s, and I saw it in the theaters, and I remember that they played the song over the closing credits of the movie. Very catchy, very upbeat, very modern rock of the time. So from the late 80s, Pet Sematary is my number 9.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's probably one of, I would have to admit, in the later era of the Ramones, that's probably one of the highlight tracks, whether it was in the soundtrack, whether it was made for a soundtrack or not. It is trademark Ramones. It's a great track. So, all right, John, the music nut, what's your number 9?
All right. My number 9 is also Latter-day Ramones. In fact, it's off of their last album, Adios Amigos. And it's the only cover song on my list. So you probably already know where I'm going if you know this album or know the Ramones. It's I Don't Want to Grow Up, the opening track off of that album. This is a Tom Waits song. And when you compare this to the original, it's just punchier and sped up. Because on the original, he still does it. It's not really rollicking or slower or off kilter like a lot of his stuff is that has later been covered. All they did was just speed up and just put more punch behind it. But it's a kick-ass track. Back in the day, we used to have a Z-Rock station here in Pennsylvania, and they played that song pretty heavy. And I mean, that was probably the song I heard the most on the radio by the Ramones because they didn't play them on pop radio much. And like y'all alluded to, especially you, Grant, I Want to Be Sedated. If a pop station's going to play a song, it's going to be that one. Yeah. I was in a classic rock band. We did I Want to Be Sedated. But if you talk to some of the other guys, they didn't really know too much more about the Ramones. But anyway, I Don't Want to Grow Up, originally written by Tom Waits, is my number 9.
So were the Ramones, maybe Davey might be able to add more to this. Were they Tom Waits fans? Well, how did that cover come about? Do you know, Davey?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. When we did that song, it was super hard for me to sing it because there were so many lyrics because it's by Tom Waits. Right. I tried remembering all the words. It's so different than every other Ramones song because there's a giant sheet of lyrics for it. And I said, whoa, this is going to be hard to perform. So I never liked performing that song that much, even though it's a great song. Just hard to remember all those words, especially with the way Joey spits them out so fast.
Exactly.
Well, if anybody in the chat can fill us in on that, I'd be interested to know because it just seems like the Ramones doing a Tom Waits song just seems kind of odd to me, but maybe not. They did Needles and Pins, and that was Sonny Bono, but that kind of makes sense. And I do love their version of Needles and Pins.
So do I.
I love it.
Very good version.
All right, cool. My number 9, I'm going to go with a track off 1977's Rocket to Russia. Now, I'm just going to say, is this where gang vocals started? I don't know. Throwing it out there. My pick, I'm going to go with Teenage Lobotomy. A lot of people think that Rocket to Russia is the best Ramones album. Like I said before, we looked at that album. We already ranked these albums. But you cannot deny that Teenage Lobotomy is an anthem. Again, a lot of these tracks that I'm picking, if you want to look up the Ramones and what is a Ramones song? Teenage Lobotomy checks that box. The production on here, we've got Ed Stasium is the engineer. Things are getting better. They're throwing a little bit more money in the Ramones, and I think that helps the record. Though a lot of people love the rawness of that original record, but it's great. It checks all the boxes. You got the lobotomy chat, which I think kind of is like a gang vocal, but well, not really. But you get some harmonies on here too. The Ramones are actually starting to sing a little bit, and we're going to see some more of that in some of my other picks. But I think Teenage Lobotomy checks all my boxes. Catchy, great guitar, great vocals, pop goodness, I guess. I guess it's pop goodness. I don't know. I love it. So it's my number 9. Could rate higher in another day. All right. What's your number 8, Davey?
Number 8, 4.5 minutes long, just about 4 minutes, 25 seconds from the early 80s, from the Too Tough to Die album. A song that was quite hard to sing because just Joey spitting out the words so fast. And I had to see a vocal teacher and learn how to use catch breaths just to do this next song. Chasing the Night.
Nice.
With keyboard work from someone from a band that you guys love. Not one of my favorites, but they have some good music.
Who is that?
Jim Harrison on synthesizers from the Talking Heads, Chasing the Night. And I just love his synth riff and his keyboards throughout the song. They add a nice flavor, a nice touch to it. This was written by Dee Dee and Joey and Buster Jones, a bass player from the New York punk scene who unfortunately passed away a while back from drug abuse, sadly. But I love this song. It's so punchy and quick, and it has a great vocal delivery by Joey. From working with Phil Spector, he really learned to sing and expand his voice, and it shows on the Too Tough to Die album and Pleasant Dreams too. Definitely an excellent song. Guitar solo. It has a short guitar solo, so we know it's not Johnny. He never liked playing solos. So it could be Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, or Walter Laurie from the punk scene, or even Ed Stasium on the short guitar solo. But I like the guitar solo when our guitar player did it, because it gave me a moment to catch my breath. Just, okay, here we go again. 1, 2, 3, right back into it. So Chasing the Night is a great deep track, powerful, upbeat rock song. It's fast, it's punchy, it has it all.
Great song.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, John, what is your number 8?
All right. Davey mentioned Pleasant Dreams. So I'm going with the opening track on Pleasant Dreams for my number 8. And I have a video for this because I saw this back in the day on MTV. We Want the Airwaves.
Yeah.
This is hard rock meets a touch of new wave, because you got the piano, or the keyboard. It's really faint in the background, but it's driving the rhythm. This song kicks. It's got a cool bridge on it too. This is, for them, for the Ramones at that time, this is a little more out of character, because it's not something fast and it's not something more 60s pop. That was kind of their niche, was those two types of songs. Here they were really getting heavier. And this track, to me, this is a wicked track. Love it a lot. Number 8, We Want the Airwaves from 1981's Pleasant Dreams.
Awesome. Seems like I'm picking a lot of Joey stuff. My number 8, looking at it, I had to look it up to make sure, and I thought, yeah, I know this is a Joey song, but Joey was brilliant. I know a lot of things were written by Dee Dee, but God, I love Joey, because this track is come on. Joey yells out the second verse, same as the first. Is he a Herman's Hermits fan or not? I think we can check that box as well, because
He's
Joey
Henry
loved all
VIII,
that
he
stuff.
is.
He's Henry VIII, I am. So I'm going with Judy as a punk. It's minimalistic. It's raw. It's off the first album. You can't get any rawer than this. What can I say? It's a classic. It's only 1 minute and 32 seconds. I love it. It does everything it needs to do in 1 minute 32. It's pop. I guess it's pop. It's pop. Joey loves pop. So I'm just gonna go with that. I don't have much to say about it. All my picks seem to be low-hanging fruit. They're like on the greatest hits album, but they're on there for a reason. So it's a great song. I'm going to get into some more obscure things when we get higher on my rankings. So that's when things get more fun, It's like, Davey's picking all this obscure stuff. Of course, he's hardcore. I'm hardcore, but I'm just babbling. All right, Davey, what's your number 7?
I'm going with another deep track here, featuring on drums Richie Ramone and
I
backing
love Richie.
vocals.
Love
And
Richie.
he wrote the song too. Also from the Too Tough to Die era, but not on the album, but now it's on the remaster. 2 minutes, 22 seconds, Smash You. And I know the song isn't PC nowadays, but the way I see it, the Ramones were always a comedy band, and they didn't mean what they were saying. They were influenced by comics, Mad Magazine, horror movies, and it shows in the song and the lyrics to Smash You. It's just quick. It has great ride cymbal work from Richie on this song. I love his drum work on here. Powerful vocal from Joey, and it just rocks, and it's in and out in less than 2.5 minutes, and it just hits you, no pun intended, but Smash You. Excellent B-side. Look it up if you're not familiar with it. Play it. It's only 2.5 minutes long. It's definitely worth hearing, and it should have been on the freaking album. Take Off Planet Earth 1988, put on Smash You, and it might be my favorite Ramones album.
Woo, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let us know how you feel about that. All right, cool.
Or Humankind, maybe, but
yeah, it's all good. All right, John, what's your next one?
I co-sign on that last statement Davey said. It should have been on the original album. And speaking of Too Tough to Die, that's where my number 7 song is going to be. But I'm going with one of the first songs on the album, I'm Not Afraid of Life. Mid-tempo, menacing mayhem. This is heavy. This is wicked, killer. Again, if you only know the first 4 albums, this is going to be a little jarring. You know, we're still staying under that 3-minute mark, but this just grabs you by the throat. But mid-tempo, it's just they're doing it a different way now. But this is a kick-ass track. Great lyric, great performance by Joey. I love the way Joey sings on this album.
Well, Joey's great, yeah.
Particularly on the heavier songs, though, because you know he's adopting a different voice at this point on the heavier tracks, I believe. So I'm Not Afraid of Life is my number 7 from 1984's Too Tough to Die.
Wow, you guys are awesome. I love this. All right, next one, my number. Wait a minute, number 7. I'm gonna go with "Beat on the Brat," straight out of Joey's childhood. You know, making a statement about women beating the bratty kids, or what is it? Didn't he see some woman go after a kid like in his apartment building or something with a bat? Who knows? But yet it's another Joey track that I'm picking, but it's off the first record. It's just Joe. It's pure Joey, and he lifts things from Yummy, Yummy, Yummy. He loves all that 60s stuff.
He does. Yeah. He loves that bubblegum pop.
I mean, if you listen to any Ramones and it's really pop oriented, it's more than likely a Joey Ramone song. Mm. But he just can't leave it alone, you know. But anyway, that's my number 7. So on to number 6, Davey.
Number 6, another track over the 4-minute mark, which is super long for a Ramones song. Coming in at 4 minutes, 6 seconds long. Written by Dee from, once again, the Too Tough to Die album, Howling at the Moon, Sha-La-La. And a few of my song titles, a few of my choices have parentheses in the titles. So there might be another one coming up. Maybe 2. We'll have to see. Now, this song features keyboard work from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Ben Montench on keyboards on this song. And once again, it adds another distinct flavor to the song. And it almost, well, it's not proggy, but the Ramones with keyboards, I love the Ramones with keyboards. I'm a big prog guy. I like punk. Sue me. But the Ramones are a great band, and they could do a 4-minute song and do it justice with different sections, with a great bridge. I know, John, you're a big fan of bridges, and this song definitely has a great bridge. Another short guitar solo. It could be by Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, who co-produced this song. Eurythmics, Ramones, what the heck is going on?
What the heck? Things are getting out of control.
So I love the keyboards, love the vocals, I love the sing-along aspect, the sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la. And it's just catchy, upbeat, hits you in the face. Great song. Howling at the Moon is my number 6.
Excellent. All right, John.
All right. Now I'm going back to the first album. And any of you from Manhattan, you'll love this one. 53rd and 3rd. This song kicks. I love Joey's swagger on this song, and I love the bridge on this one. But Dee Dee's singing a bridge, and he sounds half out of it, and he sounds a little lower in a mix too. But this is just a killer anthem. awesome chorus on this, and a longer chorus by Ramones standards. But this song just kicks. It's one of the later songs on the album, so it would be more of a deep cut. But the first album is just a knockout from top to bottom. But this is one of my favorites from the album, 53rd and Third, from self-titled debut from 1976. There you go.
Awesome. All right, my number 6 is from an album from 1980. We're going to go to End of the Century. Some people don't like this record so much. Some people bitch about Phil Spector's production. I'm not a big fan of Phil Spector, but I love what Phil did with the Ramones. I like the songs. I like the album. I like it. And Joey was probably just all worked up because, well, it was Joey that wanted to work with Phil, right? Wasn't he like the big catalyst that let's do it? And I think what Phil brought to the Ramones, you would never think of all the producers that would work with the Ramones, you'd have an album from Phil Spector. But I love it. And there are some songs on here that hold up, I think, with the very best in the earlier catalog. My number 6 is going to be Chinese Rock by Dee Dee Ramone. Deals with his heroin addiction and his struggles. It's one of Dee Dee's best. I think the Phil Spector treatment on here works. The thing about Phil, I don't care for what he did to the Beatles, but what he did with the Ramones, I think, is really great. It works for them. And I guess this song was originally recorded by Richard Hell. This is like a collaboration between Dee Dee and Richard Hell. I've never heard the Heartbreakers version of it. Have you guys heard that? Have you heard it? Have you?
It's
How is
good.
it
It's
compared?
more punk.
More
It's more of a
punk.
punk song.
Right. But I love it. I think this is one of my favorite Dee Dee Ramone songs. I think it's great. So that's my number 6. Davey, what's your number 5?
I'm glad you mentioned that song because it was on my larger list. It didn't make the cut. And I used to love playing that song because in the chorus, I did these crazy high leg kicks back then. I don't even know how I used to do them. I think it was just the energy of the music.
Are you allowed to do leg kicks playing the Ramones? Do they do?
I used to add my own thing, my own flavor. Most of the time I just stood there. But during this song, it just emphasized the song. I'm living on a Chinese rock kick, and then the next line. So great song, though. Great choice. Love it, love it, love it.
All right.
My number 5 song, Johnny Ramone says that the guitar riff in the song was influenced by Cheap Trick. Grant, that's for you.
I like
one of their songs called He's a Whore. And this song has a great key change modulation from 1981 Pleasant Dreams. The song is in G major. All of a sudden it goes to A major. Written by Joey, 2.5 minutes long. The KKK took my baby
away. Yeah.
I love performing this song too. It's just so, I wrote down on my notes here, anthemic. Your word, Grant. This is such an anthemic
It's
song.
an anthem.
It's catchy, but there's no way it would ever get airplay on pop radio, top 40 radio, because it has the word, the initials, KKK, in the title. And the Ramones just had such bad luck. They'd come up with these great catchy songs, but who's going to put a song called Carbona Not Glue? Now I want to sniff some glue. Just any song like that, or the KKK on the radio. They were just tarred and feathered with the punk brush, and in middle America, and just went to both coasts. The Ramones barely got radio airplay in the 70s and early 80s because, it's a punk band. You can't listen to that because of all those reports on 2020. We discussed this in the last show. So I'll change my course here. It's so catchy. It's anthemic. I love Joey's lyrics. And of course, it's written about the fact that Joey was dating a girl named Linda. They were boyfriend and girlfriend for a few years. Then all of a sudden she dumped Joey and went with Johnny, and he eventually married her. And they stayed in the same band, and they hated each other because Joey was a liberal and Johnny was a staunch Republican. So this was Joey's way, allegedly, of poking at Johnny. You took my baby away. You're the KKK. You're right wing. Who knows if that's true or not, but more than likely it probably is true. And it's such a catchy, upbeat, great. It's a rocker. It rocks. It rolls. It rules. KKK is my number 5.
It's funny he made the KKK reference because the KKK really originated out of the Democratic Party back in the day. People forget that, but that's where it came from, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little history lesson. Well, there you go. But yeah, he was right because he did take his baby away, though. He did. So, all right. Good choice. John, what's your next one?
That was going to be in my top 10. I took it out the last minute. Excellent choice. And the thing is, it's a great rock song, but pop sensibilities, like you said, I mean, it was just those 3 letters that probably kept it off the radio.
Yes, exactly.
It's so catchy. Awesome track. I'm going to go for my number 5. I'm going back to Subterranean Jungle. And this one has riffs galore for a Ramones song. This is Highest Trails Above.
Ooh,
kick-ass track.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Just wicked. Johnny is having a great time on this with these killer riffs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Excellent track. Cool chords. The drums on this album were kind of schizophrenic, as I mentioned before, but the drumming on this, I think, is really kick-ass. Another strong track, deep cut, but, a few of the songs, like this album is kind of like, you have the covers, and then it's still kind of poppy, and then it kicks into this song, and then it becomes a heavier album. And one of the great deep cuts, Highest Trails Above from Subterranean Jungle's my number 5.
And that was on that collection, their Toughest Hits, one of the myriad collections by Ramones, and that song is on there.
And Johnny picked the track listing for that one too. So Precisely. There you go. Yep.
All right, cool. My number, it is number 4, right?
Yep.
All right. God,
number 5.
Your last number 5.
Oh, number 5. Gee whiz, Grant. I was okay. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna go with yet another track from 1977 off of Leave Home. How could you not? It's another Joey one. Forgot. Why am I picking on these Joey songs? I'm gonna go with Sheena as a punk rocker. It had New Musical Express said it was among one of the top tracks of that year. It's great, but what was the story? This came on like the second copy of Leave Home. Like, Davey, can you update everybody what happened with that? Why was that on this? What happened that this was added? And
because of Carbone and Not Glue.
That's right.
They took off Carbone and Not Glue. They put on Sheena in America, and they put on Babysitter in Europe.
So in America, it was different.
Yes.
Now, Sheena is a punk rocker. How was that issued like in Europe, though? Was that just a single? Was that released as a single? Was it released in Europe? Do you know off the top of your head?
Wait, it's not on Rock. It's not on Rocket to Russia. I'm not sure about the European.
I don't know. I'm throwing out questions, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but so there you go. So one country it was on, one country it wasn't. But I think either way, it's a great song. And Joey's, God dang, I love his work. What can I say? It's kind of surfy. It's punky. I think it's great. It only got to number 81 on the charts. The Ramones never had a hit. But I think it's a great single. It's too bad it didn't do better, but it's an anthem. Come on, another, like I said, you want what Ramones sound like. Sheena is a punk rocker is a definite. It could be listed under there, so it's perfect. I like it. Let's keep it moving. What's your number 4, Davey?
Number 4, sticking with the Pleasant Dreams album from 1981, a deep track written by Joey Ramone, almost 3.5 minutes long. It's Not My Place, and in parentheses, in the 9 to 5 world. And I love this song. Yeah. It's a theme song of mine because for some reason I've never worked a 9 to 5 job. I always work jobs that have odd hours, weekend hours, overnights right now, much to my chagrin, but that's the way it is. I love Joey's vocal performance on this song. And that's another thing my vocal coach back in the day, Dana, that she helped me with, because in the chorus, when he's just going up and down a little, it's not my place in the 9 to 5 world. It's a bit of a stretch, and it's a great song. I'm sure the producer helped him, working with Phil Spector helped him with his vocals. I love the lyrics to this song. The way it starts off, my mom and dad are always fighting. It's a very catchy song. This could have been a single. This could have been a big pop hit in a perfect world. Yeah. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. But that is my number 4. It's Not My Place in the 9 to 5 world.
Davey, I knew that was going to appear in your list because you were mentioning that on the album ranking show. So I knew it was going to make an appearance. Excellent choice. All right, John, what's up? What's next?
All right. I'm going to hit the Leave Home album. My number 4. is Commando.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Just as wicked. Oh my
Commando's
God.
good.
There you go. As exhibited on Davy's t-shirt.
I guess Davey likes it, for God's sakes.
It's killer. And we got more. We don't got background vocals on here. We got background chants. That's what that adds more menace to the track. But 1 minute 51 seconds, just a blitzkrieg of punk right here. This is probably, you want to talk about the punk side of them, this may be their most punk song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, menacing, kicks butt. 151, in and out, but catchy as hell. Commando, Leave Home. Yeah. That's my number 4.
Excellent. My number 4 is Blitzkrieg Bop, off the Ramones, February 1976, the debut single. We got a little bit of some Nazi-related topic here. Hey, it's a great song. So this track starts off with a 20-second instrumentation, and then Mr. Joey Ramone comes in with the iconic, "Hey, ho, let's go." Come on, it's an anthem. It's probably the best single the Ramones ever produced. I love it. Of course, it didn't do anything, but it's a classic. It's my number 4. I probably should have rated it higher because it is brilliant, but I'm going to leave it where it is at number 4. There are some other songs that I just absolutely love coming up. So it's my number 4. All right, Davey, number 3.
Number 3, from an album you love, and I love it too. It's a great record. End of the Century.
Yeah.
Written by Joey, just over the 3-minute mark, about their manager at the time, Danny Fields. A song simply entitled Danny Says. And the lyrics on this song are great, written by Joey. He mentions Get Smart, and that is one of the best references ever in a pop song. It's catchy. It has a great shimmering, shining Phil Spector production on here, and just the ooh-oohs at the end. Ooh. It's an amazing song. Foo Fighters covered it. Tom Waits covered it.
Nice.
It's a great song. You should hear it if you don't know it. Danny Says. Again, in a perfect pop world, should have been in the top of the charts, and it wasn't. Sad but true.
Well put, Davey. Well put. All right, John, you're up.
All right. Grant had this one before.
I did.
You did. My number 3 from Rocket to Russia in the United States is Sheena is a Punk Rocker, which, yes, should have been a much bigger hit than a number 81 single.
I know.
It should. This is top 40 written all over it. I mean, what a wonderful chorus on this that anyone could sing along to. Pop Smart's on here. It's very catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been a hit. I mean, you see 81, you're like, what? I mean, and I Want to Be Sedated, I think, would probably be the most famous song by them in America.
I think so.
But I would rank this over that. And I love that song, of course. But yeah, Sheena is a Punk Rocker is the closest thing I think they might have done to like pop perfection. So that's my number 3.
All right. Great minds think alike, Davey, because my number 3 is Danny Says from End of the Century. Allegedly supposed to be the inspiration was Linda, Joey's girlfriend that Joey took along with the KKK and took her away. But you pretty much summed that up perfectly. I'm not going to stay on it. I love it. So I think number 3, that's a perfect spot for it. Is it a bit obscure to be in our ranking? Not necessarily. Yes. If you know, it is a bit, but hey, it's a wonderful track. Check it out. All right. What's your number 2, Davey?
I loved singing Danny Says. It was most of the songs I think we performed with the band with either Commando was our second band name after Blitz Cretins, a combination of Blitzkrieg Bop and Cretin Hop. We were the Blitz Cretins. Then when we changed lineups, we became Commando. But I think we performed 9 out of 10 of my top 10. And Danny Says, I used to love performing that one. Just his vocal delivery on that song is amazing. And that's Phil Spector's help. My number 2 song is written by Dee Dee, although he wasn't in the band at the time it came out. Dee Dee Ramone was in jail, and he needed to get bailed out, so he made a deal with the Ramones or their management. If you get me out of jail, I'll give you a song. And this song was the song that he gave them. Poison Heart from Mondo Bizarro, 1992. Clocking in at 4 minutes and 4 seconds, written by Dee Dee and Daniel Ray, who was an unsung hero of some of the later Ramones albums. This was on the soundtrack to Pet Sematary 2, And there are a few covers out there of this song. And this has vocals by some guys that we were talking about before Grant hit record, the infamous Flo and Eddie on backing vocals on Poison Heart. And this song just kicks butt. Another song I used to love performing. It actually reached number 98 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. It was number 2 on the US Modern Rock Tracks chart. So alternative radio was playing it in the early 90s. And from Hits Magazine, it was the US Postmodern chart, number 10. So Poison Heart, great song, punchy, powerful, great vocal delivery from Joey, chimey, happy, upbeat song, even though Dee Dee used it to get out of jail. He wrote it, great song, Poison Heart's my number 2.
Holy crap, I didn't know Poison, I had no idea this was going to make an appearance, but excellent choice, Davey. All right, John, what's your next one?
All right, my number 2, Grant talked about before. It's from the debut. It's a 92-second party called Judy is a Punk.
Yep.
Yes, this is just so catchy and poppy and joyous. Excellent track. I don't think there's anything else I could say about it. I mean, you just have to hear it and just it's a fantastic song. And it's just so catchy that anybody can get into it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
All right.
If I could just add one thing about it, I think the reason that the Ramones didn't get airplay also was because they had these buzzy chainsaw guitars, and that's just not pop radio fodder. Just Johnny's just downstrokes, the way he picked and played, so angry and aggressive. I think that's what kept them off the radio. One of the reasons.
Wow.
Bad promotion too. But
there was not really anything like that at the time, and that you couldn't get any more, I mean, less commercial than the Ramones, even though we might be able to listen to it and go, my God, that's absolutely brilliant, catchy, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, for pop radio in the late 70s or 80s, they just wouldn't fit in.
Too aggressive.
Too aggressive. Yeah.
And maybe in this case, too short, because they didn't play singles that were 1:32.
Most of them were 3-minute songs back then.
3:50 or 3:30, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Well, there you go. All right, cool. Now I forgot where we are.
Number 2.
Oh, is it me?
Yes.
Yes.
God, I'm glad you guys are keeping track. All right. This is one of my all-time favorite Ramones songs. In fact, these two are my all-time favorites. From Road to Ruin. I had to look this up again because I swear to God, this sounds just like a Joey song. Because Joey's all about the pop. Joey's all about the melody. Joey's all about that hearkening back to the 60s in his songs. But I'll be damned, this is not a Joey Ramone song. This is a Dee Dee song. And I'm going to go with a track that actually has a lead guitar break from Johnny Ramone, which never happens. But this is pure pop goodness. I'm going to go with Don't Come Close. I absolutely love this song. It probably should be my number 1, but man, it's not a well-known track, but I think it's just pop perfection. And in 1978, I think it's just, I love it. What can I say? I'm like a giddy schoolgirl. I love it. So that's my number 2, believe it or not. Wait till you hear my number 1. And I'm surprised no one has even mentioned what my number 1 is by now, because I was sure someone would mention this, but we're getting close, ladies and gentlemen. So let's move on to our number 1 and let's see what we've got. Davey?
I always thought it might be Ed Stasium with someone else playing the lead guitar parts on Don't Come Close, because it has those shimmering harmonics. Bam, bam, bam. I don't think
I think it's John. I don't know. Someone in the comments, let us know who's playing the lead guitar break. You know, it's a crappy guitar break, so I would assuming it was Johnny, but I don't know. Well, he never played anything. I was under the impression that was Johnny playing that. I've read it.
Had a lot of ghost players, uncredited guys.
They did?
Throughout the years.
Even that early?
That album, yeah, Road to Ruin. When Marky came aboard on drums and Tommy vacated the drum stool for the producer's seat.
Things changed.
I think it's Ed Stasium who co-produced that record.
Yeah.
But it is?
Well, I'm pretty, yeah, it's Ed. I think that's Ed. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, so I think he helps out
with Tommy. Yeah.
He played guitar too, Could have been him.
All right. Let us know in the comments because, we're in a show now. I can't look it up. So let us know in the comments. We do want to hear from you, and we do check out the comments. So on to our number one, Davey. Go on.
My number one
Amaze
song is
me.
a protest song. The Ramones got political and did a protest song in 1985. Before their 1986 record came out, this was released as a single in Europe, and it was all about, at the time, the American president, President Reagan, going to Germany. And this song was co-written by Joey Ramone, Dee Dee Ramone, and the co-producer Jean Beauvoir at the time from Plasmatics, of course, a really hardcore punk band featuring Wendy O. Williams, one of John's favorites, if memory serves. Song it was supposed to be called Bonzo Goes to Bitburg, but Johnny Ramone, as a staunch Republican, said, we're not releasing the song with that title. So the song came out under the title, My Brain is Hanging Upside Down, and then in parentheses, once again, Bonzo Goes to Bitburg. But since it's been released on compilations and reissues, they just call it Bonzo Goes to Bitburg now. But in the chorus, Joey sings, My Brain is Hanging Upside Down. This is a great song. It's just about 4 minutes long. It's a protest song. Whichever way your politics go, it doesn't matter. It's still a catchy song. It's an excellent song. I used to love screaming and shrieking this song. We used to end our sets with this because I was screaming so much. My voice got so gruff at the end of the night because I would really put energy into this song. So powerful, so upbeat, catchy, excellent song. My Brain is Hanging Upside Down. Bonzo Goes to Bitburg. My number one favorite Ramones song.
Wow, that's impressive. Impressive.
These vocals on it are amazing.
All right. All right. Excellent. Sounds great. I'm going to throw it over to John. John, dazzle me. Come on.
Well, we're going all over the catalog here. This is awesome. I talked about this album before. Davey, I believe this is your favorite Ramones album. It is the title track, Too Tough to Die, is my number one.
That was my number two, I think.
Oh, okay. I was close. I thought it was your. All right. All right. Anyway, you love it, but this would be like heavy metal Ramones, and it's like one of a few songs where you actually hear Tommy doing like a little lead, but it's just little fills that he's actually putting in, and I think the little fills that he's putting in really make this song a classic in their canon. I love the lyric. I love the pre-chorus on here. It's magical, fantastic, and it's really fun to sing and get into. It's heavy. Great track. It's the title track to this bad boy here, Too Tough to Die, 1984. So there you go. It's my number one.
So my number one, I'm going to go with a track off of Rocket to Russia from 1977. This is about the dysfunctional 20th century family. I'm going to go with We're a Happy Family, written by the band. Not a Dee Dee song, not a Joey song, a band song. And it checks every box. It's catchy. It's rocking. It's got a ferocious Johnny riff. Dee Dee and Tommy keeping great rhythmic time. Joey sings, well, not like a bird, but it's what he brings to this track is perfect. I think it's a perfect track. It's not like one of those tracks that everybody knows, but they should. Why is it my number one? God, I don't know. I just have always dug it. This, along with, any other track could be in my number one, but today that's my number one track. I think it's a great song. We're a Happy Family. And didn't remind me. Yeah. What about it?
Happy sitting here in Queens. I'm sitting here in Queens, New York right now, as if you can't tell by my accent.
I didn't.
Queens, eating refried beans, wearing all the magazines, gulping down Thorzines. We ain't got no friends. Our troubles never end. No Christmas cards to send. Daddy likes men.
But it's
that's why I wasn't on the radio.
But lyrically, though, think about it. It's perfect poetry. I'm sure. I'm assuming Joey wrote the lyrics. Do you know, Davey?
It's just credited to Ramones. So.
I wonder if he did who did the lyrics. There are a lot of questions, ladies and gentlemen. Think it's Dee Dee? We have a lot of questions. Please let us know in the chat. God, I keep reaching out to our viewers to fill things in. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a rough night. I'm off my game tonight, so bear with me. But it makes it kind of fun. Gives me some outtakes. And I will put some of those up front.
Nice.
All right. There's our ranking. It could change tomorrow. I want to thank Davey Cretin and I want to thank John the Music Nut. The ranking of our top 10 Ramones tracks, songs. We love the Ramones. And there's so many songs. I'm looking through. Well, actually, does anybody have any honorable mentions before we wrap it up?
Wow. I got a
I was
list of
looking at
30
them.
songs.
Yeah, there's so many
I can mention a few that we didn't mention.
Yeah, go ahead and mention a couple.
From Leave Home, Glad to See You Go. What a powerful rock song that is, so fast and energetic. Swallow My Pride from that album, another upbeat, happy song. California Sun, love their cover of that. And that is Johnny playing that riff. That's a great riff, great song, great cover song. Cretin Hop, I have to add, from Rocket to Russia. Go Mental from Road to Ruin. She's the One. What a great song. I used to love performing, and I played tambourine on She's the One. Yeah, yeah, she's the one. Excellent song. I Can't Make It on Time, one of my theme songs from End of the Century, because I'm almost always late, unfortunately. Pleasant Dreams, She's a Sensation. I think Joey's best songs just happen to fall on Pleasant Dreams. I think he wrote 7 out of the 12 songs. And where are my notes here? Oh, yeah, KKK, Airwave, She's a Sensation, 7-Eleven.
Like She's a Sensation.
Great songs. I had Psychotherapy, John, just like you did. I Want to Live from Halfway to Sanity. That song's a killer. I Believe in Miracles, which Pearl Jam covers all the time. Censorship, pardon my French, from Mondo Bizarro. And from Adios Amigos, She Talks to Rainbows. I'll throw that in there for a different kind of Ramones style song.
I was just going to...
Nice.
Thanks.
I was just looking for lists, and there were some ones awful. God, how could I leave these out? Pinhead? How could I leave Pinhead out? Gimme Shock Treatment. Did anybody say that? John, did you have that?
I was an honorable.
God darn it. How could we miss that? Of course, you said Commando. California Sun's great. Everything's great. There's so many things we could have picked that we didn't mention. Like, what's on the next record? Like, you know what? I will mention this because I do love this version. Their version of Do You Want to Dance? And I'm sure they got turned on by, of course, it was a Bobby Freeman song, but the Beach Boys did it. And by listening to this, that they were turned on by that Beach Boys version of that. I can just tell. And their version of Surfing Bird, they love that. I love that. I love this record. Oh my God. Cretin Hop, classic. I don't know, John, give us some honorables before we wrap up.
You mentioned a lot of them, but I have Warthog from
I could have had Warthog. I think it's a classic.
I have I Don't Care from Rocket to Russia. I have I Wanted Everything from Road to Ruin.
Yeah.
Good one.
Thanks. Everything else that I have here, y'all mentioned.
We could have done a top 20. We could have done a top 30 easy. The Ramones are so great. But anyway, we're here trying to turn you on to stuff. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you like the Ramones? Do you not like the Ramones? What are your top 10 tracks? Hell, let us know what albums you like. And don't forget, there you go. And don't forget to check out the previous video where we did our ranking of the Ramones albums. That's down below. Gentlemen, I appreciate the conversation, even though I could barely talk today. Sometimes you get that, but it'll be all right. I'll be all right.
And if I could just say, look for John, the Music Nut, on John Clauser's My Music Corner channel.
Thank you, Davey.
He just did a great series on Judas Priest. And without spoiling it, they have another great one coming up for you guys shortly, later on this summer. And I am on Cretin Classics, Cretin Classics. And I just did some cool rant videos, not in the punk vein, more in the progressive vein, but they're interesting videos. So look for me there. And of course, Grant's all over the place. He's on Sea of Tranquility. He's on his own channel, Grant's Rock, Warehaus, and the Contrarians. He's everywhere.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. Well, I'm going to be on John Clauser's channel too.
There you go. Yes, and Davey, great show that you just did with Tom Curlis on Curlis Mania.
Thanks.
Your album battle with Van Halen's Women and Children First versus Fair Warning. Killer show. I just watched that before we start taping this. Yep, you got it.
All right, cool. I guess we covered everything. John, is there anything else you want to talk about?
All right. coming soon
Okay.
on Rock Daydream Nation. Peter Kerr and I, we're going to talk about Jason and the Scorchers and their 1989 album,
No way.
Thunder and Fire.
You're going to talk Jason and the Scorchers?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Who was talking
you.
Jason and the Scorchers?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody. Well, all those links to everybody's down below. So check that out. Jason and the Scorchers.
Love them.
I applaud you, John. Holy
Thank you.
crap. That's great.
No, Peter came up with it and the eyes got about this big. I was like, you like that band? He goes, I love them, John. I'm like, I'm in.
I didn't even know they would know about Jason and the Scorchers in Australia.
They played in Australia. He saw them live.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember those videos back in the no one knows Jason and the Scorchers anymore.
Oh, wonderful
They're a
band.
cult band.
Wonderful
Cult
band.
Yeah. Weren't they on EMI America here in the
They
States?
were on EMI. They were on EMI.
Capital,
Yeah, they were on EMI. And then they went to A&M for Thunder and Fire, which is the album we're going to talk about. EMI, I think they did Still Standing on there. And I believe Fervor and Lost and Found were on there as well.
All right, cool. So everybody, a lot of great content coming up. And I do want to mention, while we're mentioning stuff, the Contrarians live chat every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Martin will be there. The gang is there. We kind of have a rotating cast to some degree. I don't know. Just depends. We're talking a lot of album covers, and we might be mixing it up later. So check that out. We get getting a lot of people over there in the chat. It's always fun, always a good time, and check that out. So for Davey and John, I want to say goodnight. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe if you haven't. Check out Davey's channel. John doesn't have a channel, but he is over there with John Clauser, so check him out all the time. See everybody. Have a good one.